What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you are enjoying your weekend, but here in this video we are talking about the end of the year rally with AMC stock. There is one last fear catalyst that we have to get out of the way, and I'm sure you guys have heard about it. This is going to be the Omicron COVID variant. Once the vaccine news is out, once we finally get that news that there is some level of efficacy with this vaccine against this new variant, I think that is when AMC is going to rally. I don't think the vaccine is going to be totally worthless, and I think we have a timeline to go off of when we could potentially see this rally. So let's get into this video, guys. That is what we're going to cover, this end of the year rally. Hit that like button for me, consider subscribing to the channel, consider sharing this video if you are also bullish on AMC stock and you find this information insightful. So let's talk about it. And obviously on Friday was not a pretty day, but AMC showed a lot of strength compared to its peers that do fall much more than technology stocks or any other stay-at-home stock when you do see these COVID fears that come about every couple of months. You tend to see a weird sell-off like this. Most of the time we do recover. This does seem a little bit different due to something that I've talked about in many videos, and that is we've seen hundreds of billions of dollars get liquidated in the overall marketplace with only 100 cases of this new variant. This is no conspiracy theory, but big money knows when something is not right. Big money will react before you ever hear about it in the news. That's what happened in November, December, January, and February. The investment world knew about COVID, and you've seen weird sell-offs heading into the major sell-off once everybody started to realize, hey, this is going to be a pandemic. We're going into lockdowns. This is not a good situation. So that is one thing that is still unclear in my mind. Why we've seen a massive sell-off with only 100 cases of this variant doesn't make a lot of sense to me. It could just be one of those weird sell-offs, and we could get back to normal in the marketplace. Now, I'm not saying there's not going to be any more pain for AMC or the travel sector or the stock market in general. All I'm saying is that eventually, I think by the end of this year, these fears will go away due to the vaccine. And that's what we're going to talk about a little bit more into depth, and then we're going to go over the data on why I am saying this. So AMC did close at $37.63 per share. Like I said, doing a lot better than a lot of other travel stocks, and we did get some new developments. So this headline says no cases of new Omicron COVID variant in the US so far, CDC says. And this is not really a new development in the sense of we would see if there was a Omicron COVID variant case in the US. The markets, if the markets are open on that any given day that does come out, eventually you're going to see a market sell-off. You're going to see some reaction based around that. And then also, experts are concerned that new variant of COVID-19 Omicron could possibly be even more contagious than the Delta variant and more resistant to vaccinations. The new COVID strain was named by the World Health Organization. It was first reported this week in South Africa and has started surfacing in other countries. The first case actually came out November 19th. And starting November 29th, the United States is banning travel by non-U.S. citizens from South Africa and 7 other African nations. In quotes, "I think it really is a big deal," said Dr. Matthew Sims, the director of infectious disease research at Beaumont. Concern number 1 is that it's going to be even more contagious than Delta. Concern number 2 is that the vaccine and the antibodies may not work as well. And once we do get that news, some kind of validation that this is not going to be something that sets us back another 2 years, I think the market is going to react very bullishly. And I do think the fact that AMC is showing a lot of resiliency, the fact that apes are holding on to their shares no matter what, investors, they will see that, or even traders in general, and I think they will want to get back into AMC stock. We've had a lot of traders come and go. We don't have any traders left in the stock. If you're watching this video, like I've said many times, you are somebody that is holding for the MOAS. We have effectively constricted that float. Now there is very few shares that are trading on any given day. I would say in between 10 and 15 million shares probably are available on any given moment to be traded. And that is what is key with all of this. And like we have seen throughout COVID, throughout other situations. If you see a stock that performs better than other stocks during peak fear of COVID or just anything in general, you tend to see investors flock back into that stock, and you tend to see that stock go through a bigger rally once that fear is gone, compared to stocks like the oil sector, like the travel sector, that just got beaten down and never have fully recovered yet. I think AMC is going to be one that does benefit from the bullishness that comes back into the marketplace, and this does ultimately revolve around the float being so constricted. Like, even on Friday, we only see 19,731,000 for volume. This is the third lowest day for volume that we have seen since before the June rally, and that is very important to know, because once you get that bullish activity, you start to see increased volume head into the stock. You're going to see a bigger price action move to the upside. Now, on top of that, we know that shorts have not covered. We got the exchange reported short interest data for AMC November 15th, and well, we got it November 24th, but these were the actual numbers for November 15th, when the price of AMC was about $44 per share at the peak that day, and then we did close at $40 per share. So the stock, well, so we went up about $4. We went up about 7% that day. So after that, we fell from $44 to where we are currently at about $37.80 per share. So the short interest is probably even higher than these numbers. But on this exchange reported short interest data, we did get 17.05% short interest. We got shares that are sold short of 87.46 million shares, days to cover of 2.07, and share utilization is at 74.95%. So this number has come down, meaning there is more shares available to be sold short. But like we've seen today with the low volume, a lot of hedge funds, or most hedge funds, I don't think there was a lot of shorting today, don't want to short the stock, because I think they are finally seeing that there is more risk to be shorting AMC at the current moment than there is potential gain to short AMC. So this is the information that you guys really need to know. Shorts have not covered. We are constricting the flow, and on top of that, regardless if FOMO buyers come back into the stock, we have a lot of option activity that will have to be hedged for in the month of December as well as in the month of January. And I don't want to leave this out of the video. I probably should have said this, a couple minutes ago, but we did get news that the top vaccine manufacturers, Moderna, Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, in the next 6 weeks should be able to know and start producing a new vaccine that would fight the Omicron variation. And after that, about 100 days after that 6 weeks, we should be getting this vaccine shipped out. So essentially, by the end of winter, we should be getting vaccines in people's arms, if that's something that is going to be applicable to the Omicron variant. It could take some time, but those are the guidelines that we are currently getting. Now, like I was saying about the option activity for the month of December, specifically December 17th expiration, you are seeing about 26,000 calls that are currently in the money. That is controlling about 2.6 million shares the market makers will have to hedge for out of the money calls at 234,366. And I do imagine we will see a bounce back up, and you'll see more of these out of the money calls start to go in the money for December. And the longer those calls stay in the money, the more hedging that has to happen, because remember, it does not happen all in one day. It happens over time. As the gamma level goes up, the delta hedging has to essentially become more relevant. You have to start hedging a lot more to remain delta neutral, and that happens by time decay and by gamma. The longer the options stay in the money, further the options go into the money. You guys can read on that. We're not gonna go into the Greeks here in this video, but these out of the money calls just for December 17th control about 23.5 million shares that would have to be hedged for by the market makers if all of these theoretically went into the money, which is not going to happen, but relative to the volume that we see, these are very, very large numbers. And then on January 21st, the big expiration, already seeing 125,000 calls that are in the money. These are deep in the money calls, and these are going to be hedged for these deep in the money calls probably by the end of December. So we are going to see that end of the year buying power come into the stock, and just the in the money calls controls 12.5 million shares that would have to be hedged for. The out of the money calls sitting at 301,000 would have to hedge about 30 million shares for the contracts if they all went into the money. They're not all going to go into the money, but even if a fraction of them do, you're going to look at some serious hedging that has to be done by the market makers. So I do think either way, you're setting up for the end of the year rally. I don't think this is going to be the new COVID situation where the markets drop 40% in essentially 2 weeks. I don't think that is the case. I think it's something to pay attention to and be very mindful, but it does not change the trade here with AMC stock. So hopefully this provided you guys some clarity, some context why I'm saying all this information. And if you guys do like an honest, open, and transparent opinion on our favorite stock, AMC, obviously, hit that like button for me. Consider subscribing to the channel to stay up to date with all of these videos, as well as check out the links in the description for totally free stock and the links for the buy and sell alerts. Take advantage of the link for Moomoo. If you guys click on that, head over to that, you will see TCI has invited you guys to join Moomoo. You will get a free share of Lucid Motors upon signing up and depositing $100 into your brokerage account. And just for signing up, they will also give you one free share valued in between $3 and $3,500. So that is the best thing you guys could do right now to make over a 50% return by doing nothing. In this day and age, if the market does get worse, that is not a bad idea to get that free money. Either way, not a bad idea. Check it out if you guys do want to. Love and appreciate you guys. Thank you for watching this video. I will see you guys in the next one.